Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Samra and today I am going to teach you what rectification is. Basically this is topic of your physics class 12th book. So before studying rectification and its working, first of all I need you to know what basically rectification is. Rectification is the process of conversion of alternating current, which we called AC, into direct current, which is called DC. Basically, the difference between AC and DC is that alternating current is the current which flows in both directions. We can say positive and negative, both directions. While direct current, which is DC, only flows in one direction, which is our positive direction. So we need a device to do this process, which we use diode. We use diode for this purpose because diode basically is a component which conducts current in only one direction. Diode only works in forward bias state, and in forward bias state it only allows the flow of positive cycle of current. So we can say that we use diode for this purpose because in rectification we use diode because we need rectification to do, because we need to convert AC into DC. The current from both directions we need to change it to single direction, so that is why we use rectification. Now there are two types of rectification. One is half wave rectification and the other is full wave rectification. The purpose for both is same, which is to convert AC into DC. So first of all we will study what half wave rectification is. This is a circuit of half wave rectification where we get an input waveform. We can say input voltage. As you can see, it is an alternating voltage, means positive and negative, we have both cycles. It passes through a half wave rectifier, and the output which we get is the waveform which is only in positive direction, means there is no negative half cycle. So we can say rectification is done by this method. So what happens in half wave rectification is that whenever current flows, first of all, when positive cycle of current flows, which is the 0 to t/2 interval, basically whenever we use voltage in form of intervals. So here our voltage is in t kind of intervals, which means it starts from 0. When it completes one cycle, we can say it has completed t intervals. So basically half of 0 and t will be t/2. So we can say that our positive cycle is from 0 to t/2 and our negative cycle is from t/2 to t. Clear? So in the positive direction, when current flows, the current will pass through diode in a forward bias condition. Whenever the diode is in positive forward bias condition, it allows the flow of current, because at that time the resistance becomes very low, and as we know, lower the resistance, more is the flow of current, and higher the resistance, lower is the flow of current. Getting my point? So whenever diode is in positive forward bias, the resistance is low and it allows the flow of current. Same is what happens during the first half cycle of half wave rectification, that current flows through it and it allows the flow of current, and it gives us the output in form of positive output of voltage. Similarly, when the negative cycle flows, which means that it works from terminal t/2 to t, there is no flow of current, because at that time our diode is in reverse bias. In reverse bias, the resistance is very high, and due to this very high resistance, there is no flow of current. So as you can see that during this interval there is no flow of current, whereas during this interval almost all of the current is flown. So in this way rectification is done, and this is not only for a single interval, that after 0 to t The other interval starts, and same thing goes on until our input waveform continues. Our rectified output waveform gets the same output. Here is it theoretically the alternating voltage of period T is applied to diode, which is in series with resistor. As I told you that this is in interval of T, and it passes, this is our, basically this is our input voltage, and from here we get our output voltage. So our input voltage passes through our diode. Getting my point? During positive half cycle is the interval 0 to t by 2. As I told you that first half is half of 0 to t, which means 0 to t by 2. During this, diode is in forward bias, which means less resistance and current flows through R, which we get in form of this output. During negative half cycle is the interval t by 2 to t. As I told you that from here is t by 2 to t interval, so we can say that negative half cycle is t by 2 to t interval. Diode is in reverse direction, which means that very high resistance and there is no flow of current. As you can see that during negative half cycle there is no flow of current, 0. All right. So this is how half-wave rectification works. Remember, rectification is conversion of AC into DC, which means unidirection to single direction. There was our input in both directions, positive and negative, and the output we got is only in positive direction. So rectification is complete. As you can see here, this is our input, all right, waveform, and this is our output waveform. This is figure 18.8 of your book. You can refer your book along with it. So 0 to t by 2 is our positive half cycle, and t by 2 to t is our negative half cycle. During our positive half cycle, we get the output, but during our negative half cycle, we get no output. And same thing goes on after t. The more inputs are added and more of output we get, and as far as we have input, we get the output from rectification. So this is our half-wave rectification.